Hey everyone, and welcome back. So everyone I'm sure is already familiar because Jacob has just been like an absolute veteran rock star in this industry for a lot of years now. It sounds like I'm aging you, Jacob, but we're actually the same age.
I was going to say.
But yeah, Jacob's a good friend, an incredible educator and designer, and so thrilled to welcome him today. So yeah, let's give it up for Jacob. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
This should be a really, really fantastic final session of this day of branding. We're not only looking at how to leverage and use mock-ups to be able to charge more, wow your clients and so on, but there's going to be a bit of kind of interactive logo design and some theory around logo design as well, I believe, Jacob.
Yes. So if we can jump into it now, if you want, or I can show you a bit about what we're going to do.
No, absolutely. Let's jump in. Take it away.
Cool. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through this together.
Cool.
Screen.
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do today, just to give you some context of what's coming, so you can prepared and so you can get value out of it and make sure this is right for you. We're going to talk through some type personalities. We're going to talk through how to create a logo and apply it to different mock-ups using this mock-up pack, which is about 50 different logo mock-ups, and you can apply it in different ways and customize it. I'm going to show you how to do that in Photoshop. And this is actually Illustrator. We have set up this artboard just to show some different styles, and all these typefaces are available. All these fonts are available at Design Cuts. I've purposely chosen them because they're all different, and we can talk about how they all communicate different things. I'm going to show you Photoshop. So in Photoshop, we have these mock-ups. There's about 4 here. Basically, this is the mock-up that you get when you download the bundle or whatever it is that you're buying. You generally have a pre-built mock-up with an existing logo there, and then you can customize that. So what we're going to do is create some logos and then bring them into Photoshop and apply them to different mock-ups and changing them and showing how you can fiddle with the dials to make it right for the brand. And
amazing. And Jacob, just to give a bit of background for the small number of people that might not know you, you've done a logo or two in your time, I believe.
Yes, I've done thousands of logos. Most recently, I did the logo for the city of San Francisco. So that is live now as of, I think last year they went live. So went through dozens of different user testing, and it beat out many other designers and agencies, and that became the number one choice. So that I'm very humbled to see that it won, and now it's the logo for San Francisco. I've worked for Jerry
It's incredible.
Seinfeld.
That's not a company, by the way. That is literally San Francisco, which you've done some really cool ones. I think that's my favorite, the fact you did San Francisco's logo.
Yeah, it was an awesome opportunity. And I want to give credit to the agency that subcontracted me out as well. So they did all I think it was 9 months of research to give me a very detailed brief of what needed to be done in terms of, I guess, the strategy and the overall theme. But yeah, there was a lot of exploration done. And there is a case study on my site if you're interested to see all the other different options that we explored and the final work as well. I've done Jerry Seinfeld's logo for his show Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, which is on Netflix now. That was shown at the Super Bowl, and also did the website and the advertising, and created a custom font for the brand as well. So that was a cool project. I've done many others. I won't get into it, but it just I guess that's enough credentials to make you listening.
Yeah, basically Jacob is very, very legit. One of the logo designers I respect the most in the world. So yeah, all the budding logo designers out there, definitely pay attention. It should be a great session.
Awesome. Thanks, Tommy. So let's talk about fonts. And they all, I always say fonts and typeface. I always mix it up, even after all these years in the industry. So what we're going to do today is focus on more of a fashion kind of style logo, but I want to talk about all the different styles that we could go with. So something a little bit more luxurious and I guess high-end. What type of font would you think would best suit a high-end brand? So definitely not this one, right? This is very vintage. I'm just going to type some words because every font has a different personality. I'm just going to go with font, so the whole. So yeah, just to keep it moving, I'll just share some that maybe this is. So this is actually in the back of my screen. You can actually see a neon sign with my logo. Well, it's not my logo, but it's a neon version, and this is actually that font here. So,
oh, no way. That's so cool.
Yeah, which I didn't know. And then I saw it on your site and I was like, that looks so familiar. Because I just used a default font on their website, like the Neon Creator website. And it looked cool. So, okay, so there's different approaches to this because a high end is very subjective, but like is Adidas or Nike high end? It could be, when you're comparing it to like a lower tier brand. I don't know, just jeans or something. I'm not sure. I can't think of anything at this moment. But then you could get like the Gucci's and the Pradas, and maybe that's high end compared to Nike. So for this exercise, I'm just going to show you, like, let's say we go with this. It's a sans serif, quite bold. It could work for Adidas. It could work for Nike. But if you're going with something like this one, a little bit more elegant, it's more refined. It's pretty modern, but it doesn't have that. It's the sans serif appeal. So let's go like luxury. You can start to see, or let's go Prada or Gucci. So you can start to see it has that feeling. What we're going to do today is create something like this. So I just made up a brand. Justine kind of ties in. A female version of my
always
brand.
Branding.
Yeah, always just branding. That's right. That's a feeling, and this kind of has a similar feel, but you can see it's just not as elegant as this one. So for something high end, this is something I'd probably lean into a little bit more. These are still modern. This could be something a little bit more like a tradie. A tradie is like a tradesman. I guess it's the lingo we use in Australia. Yeah, the Aussie lingo. So like a Sparky, which is an electrician, or anyone else in that industry.
You basically add IE on the end of most words out there, right?
Yeah, like sunglasses is Sunnies, and every person's name is like, instead of Jonathan, it'll be Jono. It's short and
I love it.
Yeah. So start to see that these all have different personalities. So this is more of like a vintage feel. And you can customize all of these, or you could do a combo font. So this is actually, I love fonts like this because you can get two, like they come as a package. They come two in one download, and they work well together. So they're built to go together. And I particularly like this one because it has a lot of different alternate glyphs. So you can customize the letters. So I'm just going to zoom in, but when you go on the glyphs panel, there's alternates for the selection. So you can just highlight the B and you can choose a different letter. So if you don't like this like big swashy thing, you could change it. So I love that. And I just created one down here, and you can combine them and they just look really nice together. So let's see if there's capital ones. I don't think they have.
I'm such a sucker for glyphs and alternates these days. Like once you check them out, you never go back, actually, because you get used to having the versatility.
I only just found about this alternate for current selection feature. I've always had it as entire font, and I never knew there was this drop down until just recently. And I always had to go find the letter and then click it, right, versus just using this alternate for current selection. So that's a handy side tip, because that's the default, is to have it as entire font. Yeah. Usually it is that. And while we're talking about art, I guess setups, it's worth sharing that this is my logo design art board, because I have it set up in terms of the color. I have the character here, which is very important when you're creating or just customizing things. I know all the keyboard shortcuts, so I don't ever use this, but I sometimes do. If I wanted to just see what the settings are. But yeah, you can change the space in the letters. So you can see like over here the spacing is going wider, and it just gives a more luxurious feel. to it when there's letter spacing. So we're kind of getting into design principles and typography here, but this is very important when it comes to logo design and mock-ups as well. So I'll get to the mock-ups.
Well, what I love about you showing off that is customize. We talk about this all the time. Don't just use everything out of the box. I know they're beautiful fonts, but it's like play with the kerning, play with the settings, play with the alternates. Just play, push the envelope.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So right, and you can customize everything. Like for example, let's go with this one. We could. So what I've just done now is outline the type. So then you can customize the, the nodes. So we could just make it like a smooth end, for example. It needs a little bit of work, but this is just to keep it quick.
Yeah, and that way you end up with something totally unique.
Exactly. So I've just lost the little, oh man, so early, I'm losing all my words. The little foot, what is that thing, got terminal at the end there.
Oh, so, God. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Now I'm pulling a blank.
Yeah. So
it's not an ascender, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes. So that's what I mean, customizing. I'll come back to the artboard here that I'm using because these are the tools that are most common when it comes to logo design. In terms of the Pathfinder, you always have to use that to combine things. The gradient tool, so you can easily drag colors into the tool as you need, and so forth. And the glyphs panel, as I just showed you before, where you can customize the letters. And then if you need to, you can go into layers and brushes and all of that, or the stroke. So you can, they're all easily accessible rather than just having to dig for them. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the mock-ups. This is the bundle that this is the bundle. Why is it zooming in on that? So this is a bundle that I'm using. It's 50 mock-ups, logo mock-ups. And the idea of these mock-ups is to show the logo in context and to give more emphasis to what the logo would look like in the real world. So is it on the side of a building? Is it on some letterhead? Is it a sign at your front entrance? Is it some really nice stock with like a silver emboss? Or is it on actual... like a hoodie, for example.
Apparel, yeah.
Yeah, apparel. So this bundle is very versatile because it has a lot of different ones, which is why I've chosen this. I've got a few pre-selected, which are what we're going to get into here. So let me just create this this logo, or we can use someone's name. If someone wants to type their fashion label in it, into the chat, we can create a logo based on...
Oh, Aurora.
I like that.
Yeah. Should we go with that?
Yep, let's do that one. Okay, so I'm just going to put it into different. This one is outlined. So
apparently, Aurora is a Norwegian singer-songwriter as well. Is being connected to the Aurora Borealis.
Okay. How do you spell Borealis? Okay. I thought it was just a good combo for this particular example.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you can start to see they all have different feelings. I don't like the lowercase of this, so let's make it uppercase. All right. So they all have different feels. Some are a little bit more high end than others. Some are a little bit more classic or vintage. I still think based on, I guess, the mock-ups we're going to use up here, that this probably has the best feel in terms of the higher end feel. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put something underneath it. I used New York in the mock-ups, but let's. So with fashion brands, often they'll have, I guess, like a location like New York, or have some other descriptor underneath of it. It's quite common. So that's why I'm just going with it for this particular mock-up. So here we have the new name. We're going to use this now, and we're going to create the mock-up to kind of bring it to life. So it's not just a logo on a background, on a white background. So what I'm doing, I've outlined the type. I'm bringing it over into Photoshop, and these are the mock-ups. So this is exactly what opens when you have the mock-up loaded in Photoshop.
Yeah, it's very common. You get these filler words, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So this is the logo they have there before. This is a very high res file, so it may take a little bit to open each one. But basically in the layers folder, there's a little thing that says replace this perspective. Every mockup is going to be different. So sometimes you can get free ones when you download them off the web. They're not as detailed as this, but often they'll have like a little file, which is a smart object inside the layers panel, where you just click into it and it will open a second Photoshop file. So basically it's kind of like Inception, where there's smart objects within Photoshop files, lots of different files within files. So what we're opening here, so in this particular example, what they've done is they've created, I guess, the scene. So there's a little bit of difference. See, there's no texture or anything. So on the final render, they've put in this nice lighting and texture and everything. So, but what we're doing at the moment, we're trying to get to this particular logo file, not the artboard, not the background, not the box or anything. I'm going to get to that because you have a lot of power in terms of customizing in this particular mockup, which is a really nice one. So what we're doing today is replacing the logo, and all I did was go to this file, click replace this logo. So you double click into it. It opens another Photoshop window. So this is the logo file. I'm going to paste the logo that we created, sorry. So that's it. It doesn't matter that it's black or white. I don't think. It changes it to white when you add it into this particular thing down here.
Which is super smart. It's amazing how elegant just that looks with just the type logo.
Yeah, totally. And that's kind of why I went with this. We're not creating or spending valuable time on creating different logo marks. We're just using a logo type made out of a nice typeface. And okay, so we've created the logo. We're going to save this file. So when you save it, it's saving now, if you can't see it. So it's updating the smart object. And what that's doing is it's going to, so it's saved now, so I can close that window. So now you can see it's updated on that box, and it's black, it's gold on black, but you can actually change the box color if you want to. So they've actually got a few preset colors down here. They have a blue.
Really cool.
Or they have a brown, or they have a green. Let's go, oh, that's nice. Okay, so now this kind of fits the name actually. So the green and the gold is kind of like that feel. So, but if we were going to create something else, maybe we wanted to have a silver logo instead of that gold. All I'm doing is toggling each one here. So you could create a custom one as well. So if you wanted a custom color, you double click on the color, and it's going to bring up the color picker. So let's say we want a hot pink, because that's what I'm going to do. It looks terrible, but let's say it's very on brand. Maybe the blue works better with the pink. So what the point here is that it's very customizable. I'm going to go back to the nice gold, and
hopefully today people are going to get to understand the power of mockups, not just from a kind of client perspective, but the power of like what you can do with them with really good mockups with some of this customization.
Totally. And the thing with, like, I'm sure there's a lot of people said always, and I think that's awesome. It definitely should be said that there's a lot of different quality when it comes to mockups. And I've chosen this particular one because it is very powerful, and there's a lot of customization built into it. And that's the difference between premium and free mockups often. There are some really great free ones out there, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to premium mockups, you have more control, it saves you more time, and you have you can even get different perspectives and things with different mockups. So that's kind of why I kind of lean into that. It just saves time and it looks better, the lighting's better in general.
For sure.
Yes, and I always advise to use mockups to show your brand your logo or brand in context, not just logo, but everything. So if you're creating, I don't know, we're going to get into the hoodie next. So just showing it in context is so powerful versus just having it on a black and white screen. And this will help you sell through your ideas, and it will help your client understand what it's going to look like in the real world. Especially when it comes to fashion logos, when it is just like often just type. And what's that going to look like in the real world? And it's so powerful. Anyway, that's why I'm doing the presentation on this.
I think especially with type, when the client doesn't understand a lot of the theory that has gone into a type-based logo, I've had the reaction before of like, but that's just type. You didn't do like a crazy icon or anything like that. And this is a way to elevate the value of the work, because suddenly they're like, okay, it's just type, but clearly that looks incredibly classy.
Totally. And this particular one, as you can see, there's embossing and debossing. So it's either raised or like pressed in. You can also control things like the noise. So I don't know if you're going to pick up that much quality, but on my screen you can see a little bit of a change. But I imagine the live stream's not going to pick that up. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that's that particular mock-up. You can also add more contrast. So there's a little bit darker. Anyway, you can, once you save this, so we're actually still in the smart object, if you remember. So you still have to save this file. So I'm going to save it, and you can see it's saving up here. And now you come back to the original mockup. Sorry, it's a big file, so it just takes a little bit. If you come back to the original mockup, you can see it updates there, and you can actually then change the perspective, and it's still the same. So you can notice it's a little bit zoomed in. On this particular mock-up, they've provided 2 perspectives, but I only had to edit it once.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's how powerful good mock-ups are. And you can tweak all the adjustments. They have different shadows. You can remove the shadows. You can change the exposure to do it what's right for your brand. So very powerful stuff. I'm going to move into another one, because often people like to show things on clothing, especially shirts and hoodies. So for this particular example, let's use a different name. Let's go with like a brand like Supreme or something like that. A bold brand. What's the name that we can use?
Oh, should we open this up again?
We'll open up again. So,
all right, let's go bold, everyone. What's your bold brand name?
Bold fashion brand, yep. Okay, so...
that actually is a pen brand, although I think it's with a W on the end. Ian Barnard always uses them.
Ah, right, okay. So I think this would definitely fit the bold bill. I'm going to see what it looks like when it's lowercase. A little bit more friendly, but still, it's kind of like, I don't know, let's go with the all caps. So... we've put that name in. All right, so I've outlined the font here. That was called Bison. It's a very popular one of my favorites as well. So definitely get onto that. It's a great one. So Bison, I'm going to bring it into Photoshop again. So this is the file that you open up. It's an ugly brown color at the moment, but we can change it. So we're going to update the perspective. So this layer file down here, just double clicking on it, opening the smart object again. And inside that file is where all the customization is, and we're going to customize the logo. See this file that says replace this logo.
Nice. Jacob, I have to ask, by the way, how big is your monitor? Is it like a 50-inch cinema TV?
It's 32. Is it everything really small?
Well, yeah, but in like a really cool way. I'm getting monitor envy at the minute. You just got so much space to work with. Yeah,
it's a big screen. So it's 32. So all I've done there is copy paste the text. I could actually write the text in Photoshop to save that step, but often my process is to work in Illustrator and not Photoshop for logos, which is generally recommended.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've saved the type again. I've saved that file. So you can already come back. It's already come back here. It's a very obnoxious Tombow hoodie, and it's got some nice texture on it. And we're going to get rid of this this color.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I'd wear the brown.
Yeah, let's see if we can use the design cuts colors. It's not as bright as exactly that color.
It's looking better though.
Yeah, I wonder if we can customize this type as well.
Just saying, design cuts hoodies, everyone.
Yeah, Tombo. So it's obviously it's not that bright, vivid color that you get on digital products. This is a physical product, so it's actually quite smart that they've done this. They've made it dull because often you don't get that bright color when you were printing fabrics and things. So they've actually done the nice thing for you. I'm sure you could customize it a little bit further if you really did want to make it that really bright color, just by tweaking some of these things. I'm going to keep the default soft light. It looks like you can change the color tip on the end here. So it's a nice green and gold. So I think that kind of ties nicely into that Aurora Borealis as well. So let's just keep that green theme. So we have the green and gold again. So that's literally how easy it was to customize that mock-up. And you can even change the background on this one. So I wonder if we can use that, your nice blue. So yeah, they've customized. I've changed it to your blue background. It looks a little bit lighter, so they're using a hard light setting. But you can always change it to see what else would look a little bit better. Mm-hmm. It's always just customizing to see how you can best fit the brand that you're trying to create. But I don't particularly like that light blue color. But here's the darker version. The shadows are a little bit off in this one, so I probably would just avoid it for the sake of this video, but you can start to see how the customization works. Mm-hmm. And you can change contrast again, and you can also change the style that's actually on the hoodie. It looks like it's embroidered at the moment, but maybe we want an embossed look. So now it's raised, or maybe it's a flat colored version. Or maybe it's just a flat. So they have a couple of different options in this one, a lot of different customization, and that's really what it's about. All right, yeah. So that's the second.
Love it. We're branding on the fly.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of power. So we've done two. So once you've done it, you save it out again. So what we've done here is we're inside the file, we're saving it out. It's going to update the smart objects, and then you go back to the original screen, and you can see it's updated. And then again, you can change the perspective quite easily. Maybe this is like a zoomed in perspective. Mm-hmm. You can change the light in and things like that. Nice. So that's two down. This is a pretty high end mock-up. Let's go with something like this. So this is kind of looks like Adidas or Nike, kind of that vibe. So let's go with one more brand that's kind of like a sports fashion apparel brand. Let's come up with some names.
Cutters. Design Cutters.
Yeah, Cutters was interesting.
You want to go with Cutters?
Yeah, we can go Cutters. All right. So we got Cutters. So I'm going to go with looks like they have I don't know if this is a glyph. No, it's not. All right, so I'm going to go with this font here, the Montreux Grotesque, or you could go with something like Futura is a classic Nike one. Anyway, we'll just go with the one I have here. So Cutters. We're going to outline the font again. So create outline and come back into Photoshop. And this is a signage one, and especially for fashion, if you're going to have an in-person or brick and mortar store, it could be useful to have something like this. And this is a cool one because it has like a neon glow attached to it, which could be a very difficult thing to create if you're doing it on your own, and it could take some time. So this is the file. Simply replace this screen. Again, it's gonna do the same thing. You can go into the file and click replace this logo. So you're starting to see the pattern here. You're going to replace the logo.
Hopefully this is showing how easy it can be to work with. Exactly. Yeah, super easy to work with mockups.
So this is the logo being saved. I'm going to close that now, and now it's going to be updated on this page. So it doesn't look as cool because there's no logo mark, but let's come up with something so it looks
Yeah, I like this. No pressure on the fly.
Yeah. Um,
I'm getting Draplin vibes here. You just need to pull out a billion variations of these and keep tweaking it.
oh, totally. Okay, so let's make it. Where is my? I don't have it activated. Okay, so I'm going to use my font software. So I use which is called Font Explorer X Pro, which is my font management software. As you can see, I have a lot of fonts, 61,000, which is ridiculous. So I've collected them over the years working for agencies and things like that. So I have a lot there. In terms of licensing, once you're okay to keep them, as far as I'm aware, you can keep them. But once you use them, you have to purchase a license. Mm-hmm. Just so you're aware. Okay. So what I'm trying to find now is this extra bold. Maybe there's a condensed version. Okay, so let's see if that's activated. Okay, cool. Oh, maybe it's. Oh, that's it.
Is that Futura?
Yes. Very Nike-esque.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe I can make this a little bit of an angle. Let's see. I'll try to line it up with the angle of the T.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so the triangle is kind of. Maybe we don't even need to see it all. I'm just going to go with some. Sorry, I'm just making stuff up on the fly.
Yeah, so I always like watching people work.
Okay, I'm just going to leave it as this because it may take some time. But yeah, just outline the font again, create outlines. Select the logo mark and so I'm going to replace this logo. Put the smart object in. Save it. So here you can see we've brought in the logo. It now has a neon glow effect. You can change the color it looks like. So let's see what it does when you change the color. So that's awesome. It can change the neon color.
I feel like I just walked into a shoe shop or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or we could use your. Oh man, I need to get your color code. Let's see what it does. So the neon vector text, yeah, it's a little bit bright, but you can probably tweak it.
Mm-hmm.
So I took off a little bit of the glow. Probably could take off some more of it.
Yeah, again, bit of customization.
Yeah, exactly. So they're using the hard light. Maybe it's a matter of just changing it a little bit to customize it to what you're after. But so that looks a little bit better when you darken it. So sometimes if you use the exact color code, it's not always 100% the way you want to look, but you can customize it, make it darker, depending on the setting that's being used in Photoshop. So yeah, it's kind of looks like a shoe store now. I think the Cutter's shoe store. So thanks for the name. That was a good one. You can easily see how type plays a big role in this and how it really elevates the brand image when you use a mock-up like this versus just like this, where it doesn't really say much when it's just on a white background. So using mock-ups like this, very powerful. So hopefully from these three different options, I can save this out again. You can see how it all works.
Yeah, and they're all completely different as well. I mean, we started with like the super elegant box mock-up one. Jacob, thank you so much for sharing those. Do you want to stop screen sharing and come back and join me?
Yes. All right.
Amazing. Welcome back.
Cool.
Thank you so much for that demo and just digging a bit more into the power of mockups and what you can do and the power of customization as and when you need. That's something all designers should keep in mind, whether you're working with mockups or you're trying to tweak your font or break it to outline, etc. But let's all give it up for Jacob. I hope that everyone enjoyed that. But please go follow Jacob, especially via his website. He's got an incredible newsletter, some mockup freebies, as he mentioned, and just go support him because he's an all-round awesome guy and great educator in the space.
Thanks, man. Pleasure being here. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Jacob, I'll catch you soon, buddy. Bye.
See you, mate.